Jam thumbprint cookies are not just for the holidays. They are easy and tasty treats for any time of the year. Grab a few simple ingredients and have fun baking. I'm Marcy McDonald with Pacific Northwest Suburban Homesteading. I'm happy to turn the kitchen over to my good friend George to demonstrate his recipe.
So we are going to be making thumbprints today. We got 3 sticks of butter here, 3 teaspoons of vanilla, 4 eggs, 6 cups of flour, and 3 cups of powdered sugar. So you want to start by creaming your butter together. And once that's creamed together, we'll add in the eggs, the vanilla, and the powdered sugar. You want to scrape down the butter so it doesn't all stick to the beater or to the side of the bowl, so that you get everything creamed together. And you might have to scrape it down three, 4 times to keep the butter at the bottom so it all creams at the bottom and not up the side of the mixing paddle. Okay. So as you can see, the butter is nicely whipped together here. You just want to get all that off there and down in there, so when you add the eggs and stuff, that everything gets incorporated inside there. Powdered sugar goes in as well. And the vanilla. Now you want to make sure that you start this on a low speed so that you don't get that powdered sugar flying up everywhere. Nobody wants to clean up powdered sugar all over the kitchen. Just like that. Okay, and then we'll be back when this is done creaming all together. So we're getting to that stage where you can see everything's incorporated well here. And you're going to have some lumps because of the butter still. That will all work out when you add in the flour. And we'll add this a little bit at a time. This is the 3 cups of flour. Or 6 cups of flour, sorry. We are doubling the batch today. We'll add about that much in to start with. After the powdered sugar incident, we're going to mix this up a little bit. Okay. And then we're just going to set this on the stir setting and get that incorporated and slowly add this in as we go. Not like that. And once you get to this part, probably best to take this out of here so that we can made it, form it together into a ball. And then we'll get our cookie sheets ready to start prepping the cookies. And also this way you make sure that all these sides are scraped down and that everything is well incorporated. Because as you can see, there is still a little bit of flour at the bottom. Okay. So we sprayed the bottom of the pan with a little bit of oil so that we can get the parchment paper to stick better in there. And we'll do the same thing over here. Put it down. Okay. Now for these, we're using a tablespoon measurement, but you want to preheat your oven to 350. You just want to do tablespoon balls. Now, you're going to get your hands dirty, so make sure your hands are washed. And you want to roll these around and just put them on the paper. Now, they're not going to spread that much. Try to get them about the same size so that everything has an equal baking temperature. So you don't end up with raw cookies. Because you don't want to have one of your guests biting into a raw cookie. And sometimes you might find that you might have to add a little bit more dough to get it even. So I remember making these all the time at the holidays with my grandparents. And we would fill them with different jams and jellies and whatever you could think to put in it. Sometimes they didn't make them to Christmas, but Grandpa would eat them all. But they were good. Now we're just gonna kind of flatten them out a little bit. You don't want them too flat because you're also going to put your thumb in them here in a minute. So about like that. And then you're going to take the back of a smaller spoon and kind of just wiggle it back and forth in there. Just so you can get that indent so you have an idea. And the fun part is that if you make these with the kids can help and then they get to stick their thumbs into the cookies. So you don't want to press down too far that you get a thin cookie. You want to have a decent hole there so that you can fill them up with jam and jelly. And it doesn't have to be a perfect shape. I've seen people do like hearts on them with their fingers. As long as you got a hole for the jam to sit in there while they bake. So today we got blackberry, and we got red raspberry.
You can use reduced or sugar-free jam if you'd like to have less sugar in the cookies. Homemade jam is also delicious. These are preserves, but it doesn't really matter whether you use jam, jelly, or preserves.
So now we're just Any spoon works really, it's just this was easier and small enough. You just grab a little bit of that jelly out of there. Might need another spoon once. Just so that you can get a little bit of that jelly up in there. I'm currently using a teaspoon, so about a half a teaspoon per cookie. And don't worry if it doesn't look perfect at the beginning, because the preserves are going to melt in the oven. And fill that hole that you made perfectly. Okay. Okay. So this is what they look like when they're filled before they go into the oven. So as you can see, these are the red raspberry. These are the blackberry. And then we'll put them in a preheated oven at 315 degrees for 15 minutes. Until we pull those out, because I don't want to get too soft here. Okay, so the timer just went off, and we're going to pull these cookies out of the oven. Then we're going to set them here and let them cool a little bit so that jelly can set back up on them. And then we'll transfer them to cooling racks, and then we'll bake the rest of them to finish cooling here.
As soon as the pans or cookie sheets are cool enough, continue the process until all of your cookies are baked. I hope you enjoyed George baking for us. Thanks for watching. Until next time, be curious, keep an open mind, and never stop learning.